Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. So, we have a new mayor, and I think it's really cool. And I loved her campaign slogan, Woo! It's so much better than the other old mayors, like Marty Walsh. His campaign slogan was, and before him, Mayor Menino, that everybody knows his was, mumble, 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 mumble. No, voting is so cool, and like in other countries, people they fight and they kill each other for the right to vote, and in Boston, it's more like, I don't know, it says partly sunny with a chance of rain. Oh, fuck voting, I'm not voting. or they're like, oh, they're all assholes. Yeah, everybody, hacks and assholes, and I'm not voting. It's like, in other countries, people kill to do this, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, I love to vote, and but I don't always know who I'm going to vote for. I don't follow these things, all that closely. So, I usually go in, assuming that I'm going to vote for somebody I've seen their sign on the highway. So, this last election, I thought I was going to vote for Rug Sale or Linda the Slut, but apparently those are old signs from another election. So I don't know. So, anyway, so I have a really cool family, and my father-in-law, he's so cool, and, he's hip, and so he's like socially progressive, but he's fiscally conservative. Now, what that means is that he's kind of okay with abortion, but it better not be him that's paying for it. So, when I was a kid, my mother died when I was a kid, and so my dad, that's my best joke. Thank you. So my dad married this nice woman, and they had been, when they were teenagers, they had dated. And so, they're telling stories, and my stepmom says, oh, he used to take me out behind the barn. And I'm thinking, this is really gross, and so, they're married, and she's my mother, and she's like, oh, Gary, brush your teeth, and that's what she's saying, but I'm thinking, oh, we used to get it on. It's just so weird. So anyway, I survived my childhood, and we used to go, visit her later on, and she had been a good cook, but then it kind of fell apart, so we would always bring our own food, because she would go out to a restaurant, and if anything was left over, she would bring it back home. So, if it was a salad, or she goes to Wendy's and has half a hamburger and the lettuce and the pickles and the sauce, wrap it all up in saran wrap, throw it in the freezer next to that half-eaten chicken leg. And so, and she was still into whole milk, and I was, moved on to skim, so I'd bring some skim milk with me, and, and she would always, it never failed, would always say, oh, it's that blue milk, they just water it down. And I'm like, I don't care. She could drink heavy whipping cream straight from the cow's teat for all I care, but let me have what I want. And yet, no opportunity was ever missed to say, oh, I don't know how you drink that blue milk, it's just like water. Anyway, so one time we went, and she had once been famous for making lasagna, and so we always asked for that, because we figured that's kind of safe. But I think this time she had cleaned out the scary freezer, so instead of hamburger or sausage or something, she had used pieces of hot dog that she had sliced up, and one of them had a bite taken out of it. And we said, this has a bite taken out of it, and she's like, oh, I don't know why you're so picky, just eat around it, and that milk is blue, and... Anyway, so you may be wondering why I have appeared on stage with a roll of toilet paper around my finger as a fashion statement. So I went to, I had a little problem on Thursday. and ended up getting 8 stitches in my fingers. So. You ever been to the aquarium? You know, they have all these signs that say, don't tap on the glass. Well, apparently the piranhas really don't like that. So, it really has been kind of a tough week. I have a good friend of mine, and you know, she's Jewish, and her mom passed away. And so I went over, and, you know, like, people had come, and they brought like 15 apple pies, and, you know, while they said Shiva, and in case you don't know what that is, an apple pie is basically just apples and, you know, pie crust. So that's all I got. Today's my